This KISD Coaches Show is supported by Coach Henderson Sports Photography, Modern Appliance, Clean Veterinary Clinic, Denali Roofing, Seashells Visuals, and Cloud Real Estate.
Well, welcome into Rolling with Toby, brand new show. We're going to call his pregame show Rolling with Toby. You like that, Toby?
I mean, I can roll with it.
He can roll with it, see? But let's start talking about the Great Wolves. That's what we're here to talk about, of course. Last week, what a ball game you played last week up there against Red Oak, man. That thing was back and forth and just ran out of clock time, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's our sixth game in a row, and 5 of those 6 games have been decided by a touchdown or less. So anytime you're in that many close games, I do think it makes you a better team, makes you a tougher team, but it also those games are defined by one play here, an alignment here, an angle here. It's a game of inches, and we end up coming up 3 points short, but you cannot spot a team like Red Oak 17 points on the road and then try to start playing, and that's basically what we did. We kept coming, but, within 3 points, we just could never get over the hump and actually take the lead, and that's on me because I didn't have us ready to roll from the very, very first whistle.
Well, of course, when you play on the road like that, it's a long trip. That was a long bus trip.
It was. I mean, it wasn't as fun as the last few bus trips have been, and that was our first true road game since the scrimmage. But hopefully that gets us ready for what's to come because we still have to go to Cleveland and to Granbury later on in the year, and those are both trips that are probably going to be as far or further.
And you think Red Oak, the team that you almost got, do you think they're probably going to win this district?
I don't know. I don't know who's going to win this district.
It's kind of all thrown together, isn't it?
Yeah, we're not completely out of it, but
there's 2-1s, 1 and 2s, and
with 2 losses, it's going to be tough. You got Midlothian, then you got Lake Belton and Red Oak with 1 loss, and then you've got Killeen High with 1 loss. I mean, it's with 5 weeks left in this thing, and we only have 4 games left. There's a lot of jockeying for position that's still going to take place. Like I said, we're halfway through ours, but some people, they still have 5 games left, and that's a big deal.
Well, we're going to have to find something to talk about for a few minutes because you don't have a game this week. You got to bye a week. So
we can still talk about our opponent. Our next opponent is still going to be the Waco Lions.
Waco Lions coming up.
We during the bye week, how we handle things is we practice on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and then we lift and run and watch film on Mondays and Fridays. So that's what we'll do this week. We've already started breaking down film on Waco High. They're a very talented team. They've used a number of different quarterbacks, so it's kind of hard to figure out, who's going to be their guy. I'm anxious to see. I'll be at Waco ISD Stadium this week. We scout on Friday. All our coaches go out to all of our opponent locations. We'll have someone, and we'll be scouting the next 4 opponents. So that's good because all our games are on Friday. So we really hadn't had that opportunity to get out and see people like we normally do. Because when you play Thursday games like we have in the past,
right,
you scout on Friday and play Thursday, and then some people play on Thursday and you scout Friday. So I mean, it kind of the schedule fell that way. But we're really glad to have an opportunity to have off and get our kids healthy. That's what I'm excited about is a possibility of coaching the entire team at one time
for the first
time this year. That's right.
That's unbelievable, man.
The amount of injuries we have kind of weathered through the first 6 games has been a record amount for me. Hopefully, knock on wood, it doesn't happen anymore for them. Actually, probably the most healthy we've been all years coming out of the Friday night game leading into the bye week. But I mean, anytime we can get healthy, that's a good thing.
Well, your trainer / doctor, whatever you want to call him here in the building, he's done a great job, man.
I was about to give him Alex Nelson and Leslie, they've done a great job this year. They could even come up on Sundays and treat the kids, and that's
unbelievable.
That's a big deal because they don't have to do that. And so the AM treatments, the athletic period treatments, the post practice treatments, the weekend treatments, we've had, you name it, we've done it. And cryotherapy, those folks down the street on Fort Hood there, they do a great job. The cryotherapy place we go to, and I really believe that's helped the kids recover as much as anything. Just the short-term recovery, not the long-term treatment like they get from our trainers. But it's a rough show when I'm talking a lot about trainers and cryotherapy.
No, that's neat stuff that people don't know about that goes on in here. So that's pretty cool stuff. So
yeah,
I'm glad we're included in the show.
No, I agree, and I have a uncle that's retired, and he was a former athletic trainer, and It's a big deal. With the job they do is they don't get a lot of recognition, and so kudos to them and everyone else that does assist with getting our kids back to where they need to be.
Well, like you said, there's no off week for the coaches. You send them off to different places to do the scouting, and so you'll have a even better look at your opponents coming up down the road on that final district legs that we're going into here. And you're not out of it; you're right in the thick of it. So just win, baby, right?
Yeah, you just got to go 1-0. Not this week, but for our next opponent, go 1-0, and probably Waco High probably played one of their better games of the year against Ellison last week. Score was 24-6. And that's we only beat Ellison 16-8. Of course everybody matches up differently, but it's going to be it'll be a physical game. Anytime you play a Waco school, it normally is physical. You've played in it. By the end of the day, or when the game's over with, and so that's something we've got to be prepared for. And we can't look at records and whatnot, and just sit here and think we're going to show up and win these games. We're going to prepare just like we're playing, like we do every week, like we're getting ready to play the Super Bowl, and that's our game plan.
Your Saturday Superstars did pretty good this past week. Monterey lit it up, didn't he?
Monterey did light it up. I will tell you, he's doing an outstanding job, and I want to say he was one of the more productive receivers, not only in the Big 12 but in the nation this past week. He had 7 catches for about 170-something and almost 3 touchdowns. He really is coming along. And I was just telling one of my former players yesterday that played a little pro ball. He's probably the best slot that I've ever coached. I've had some really good outside receivers, those X and Y, the real tall kids, but I cannot think of a slot receiver that I coached that would have been better than he is.
Yeah, and he made the academic All Big 12 too. So.
Yeah, that's why he's there. He's an extremely intelligent kid, and I can remember. It was unfortunate during his recruiting process because COVID. So he really did not have a lot of offers, and fortunately, there was just a freak deal. But I had 2 former players that played for me. They were both coaching on that staff at that time, and then I was really good friends with the receivers coach, and that helped. But all in all, Monterey Baldwin is the reason why Monterey Baldwin is at Baylor, and that he's having the success that he's having at Baylor. He really has done a great job, and we're proud of him. Even when he wasn't playing as much, I was getting good reports from his coaching staff, and they were pleased with his overall attitude and his academic work ethic, and then just to see him come in his own now and just kind of ball out. That's what we saw here when he was here. He played as a sophomore. That was kind of his coming out year, and then his junior and senior year, he really lit it up. And I say this again: had it not been for COVID, I really think he would have been a guy that would have been heavily recruited. But people, the coaches at that time, couldn't come out on the road and come see, how tall is he, what kind of kid is he, that type of deal. But and then you got Amari Evans that's doing his thing at Penn State. He's balling. So he got there early. He left at Christmas time.
Took that red shirt off, man.
Yeah, no doubt. He's doing a good job, and Kamari's playing as well. But I'm going to say this again. We got 2 guys that are in the junior college level. One of them, I think, is the best JUCO receiver in Texas, and Trent Hudson. He's about 6'3", about 205. I talked to his coach yesterday because he's got about 6 or 7 offers. You got Jadiah Milan playing left tackle at Tyler Junior College. Missouri's offered him, so he's got some SEC Power 5 offers. We got some guys that are blowing up on the scene and really doing some good things. Dontavius Burrows, he's another guy. He's at Tyler Junior College. He's getting recruited. So they're doing some really good things. But I'd like to believe that this program did assist in getting them to where they are and developed them as not only academic students and athletes, but young men as well.
And I think you've done a darn good job of that. And I think your time is up for this off week, sir. So we're going to have to let you go with a lovely parting gift.
Well, I appreciate that. And as always, in a very delayed week, go Gray Wolves.